Good afternoon and welcome to the Veteran Business Resource webinar this afternoon. I am Keli Krueger Huhra, and I'm director of the newly launched Illinois APEX Accelerator at the Champaign County EDC. I would like to first start by saying thank you. Thank you very much for your service and your sacrifice to all of our veterans out there. And I was just made aware that I did forget the Space Force. And so my apologies if we have anyone out there affiliated with the Space Force that I did not have your logo on here. But thank you so much to all of our veterans. The newly launched Illinois APEX Accelerator at Champaign County EDC is under the management of the Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs. The Illinois APEX accelerators are essentially the front door to expand the number of businesses capable of pursuing and performing under contracts with the Department of Defense and other federal agencies and state and local federal governments as well, and also to support government prime contractors that are looking to do business with small business. And we provide critical education and training like the webinar we're having today, to help government agencies that want to work with small businesses in procurement contracting. And we will help generate new procurement suppliers for local, state, and federal government, which in the end results in improving, making stronger the supply base for the government. Greater competition helps to do that, and higher quality goods at a lower cost. And this just gives an idea of the services that we can provide through the Illinois APEX Accelerator. Things like conducting market research, which is where we start to find out if the business is able to sell to the government, who buys, how much do they buy, and how do they buy it, is a good place to start to see if this is a marketplace for you. Executing the SAM and other government registrations, reading and understanding those government bids and proposals that can be really overwhelming, and other issues and circumstances that the Illinois APEX Accelerator can assist a business with to get into that government marketplace. And what you see on the right then are statistics and the services that have resulted from the 11 APEX accelerators that are located within the state of Illinois. And APEX accelerators in general are across the country and including the territories. And we are a network that can support each other and provide services and get questions answered and resources that we have access to outside of our own organization. Here are the other centers in Illinois. If by chance you have reached to this webinar from another location, we are community-based, and here are the other centers that might be located closer to you that you can reach out to. So without further ado, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce our speaker for today. We are very privileged and honored to have with us Keith S. Murphy. And Keith is the director of an organization, the Veterans Business Outreach Center. And the Veterans Business Outreach Center supports Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin businesses. And Keith is a decorated, retired U.S. Air Force veteran. He leads that VBOC program, and it's funded and administered by the U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Veteran Business Development. The VBOC program is designed to provide entrepreneurial development services such as business training, counseling, and resource partner referrals to transitioning service members, veterans, National Guard, Reserve, and military spouses interested in starting or growing a small business. Keith supports us here in the Illinois area and in a tri-state vision, directs and monitors programmatic activities, manages the budget. He's responsible for all funding and compliance issues and communication on a regular basis with the SBA, OBBDT, and SBA district directors in the tri-state area and related staff. And Keith, we're so glad to have you here. And at this point, I'm going to stop sharing and turn the screen over to you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Keli. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me today. Let's see if I can get my screen up here first, and then we'll go from there. And you all let me know if I'm on target here. Looking good so far?
Looks good, Keith.
Cool. Now let's see if I can just figure out how to move this thing forward. Okay. Now appreciate your introduction. There's there's really not too much left for me to say for introduction wise because your introduction did most of all of that, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So we'll just kind of jump right into our program today. What we're going to talk about. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm not going to PowerPoint you to death, but just want to give you some information about the program and how this program can help you if you are a veteran and you're interested in starting or growing your own small business. As Kelly stated, I actually work for a nonprofit called the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation, which we refer to as WIBIC. We've been around since 1987, helping to put dreams to work. And specifically, I work the veteran program. The VBOC, as you will hear me refer to it, the VBOC program, a Veteran Business Outreach Center program, is powered by the SBA. Where I work for a nonprofit, but we are the host organization for the program. And all I do is work with veterans all day long, and I love it. I'm a retired from the United States Air Force. I just left a program this morning, working with a local Chicago business that is expanding its footprint in the Chicagoland area. So all I do is work with veterans. So if you're thinking about starting or growing your own small business, the VBOC, Veteran Business Outreach Center program, is where you start. Now, we have two programs. One is called the Boost to Business program, and the other one is the Reboot program. They're both the same programs, and I'll go over those information as far as what you'll learn in those programs in just a moment. But those programs are designed to help you, to give you a 30,000-foot view of what entrepreneurship is like. If you've never started a business, all you have is an idea and a napkin, we can still work with you. We also have follow-on training, which I'll talk to you about once you complete the Boots to Business or the Reboot program. When I say the Reboot program, it's the same program, but the B2B, which is the Boost to Business program, that's what we teach on the active duty installations. And we teach the Reboot program as the same program. We just refer to it as a Reboot program when we're not teaching it on active duty installations. And all of these slides will be presented to you. You have access to these once we're completed with this today. So you don't have to worry about trying to take a lot of copious notes. Just sit back and listen. And if you like to take notes, that's your option. But once you complete the Boost to Business Reboot program, the follow-on program is offered through Mississippi State University, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And then we'll look at the SBA Resource Partner Network, and then some other resources that are available for you for training-wise. So now, the Boost to Business program consists of 8 different modules. And the first one we go over is what is entrepreneurship? We kind of give you an idea of what does it take to be an entrepreneur? What can it be taught? Can you be taught to be an entrepreneur? What makes a good entrepreneur? But then we'll also look at, in another module, we look at what is an idea versus a business opportunity. Just because it's a great idea doesn't necessarily mean it's a business opportunity. Well, how would you know? And that's what we discuss in that particular module. We also discuss how to do market research, learning your customer and learning your industry, knowing the difference between your customer and your industry. We also teach in that particular module, we'll go over the economics of small business. How do you go about financing your venture? Those types of things, debt finance, debt versus equity. Which one's going to be better for you? What type of legal structure should I set up? Should I be an LLC? Should I be a C Corp? What does all of that mean? And we also have individuals that come from different areas of the business community that volunteer their time to come in and teach these different courses for us. Financing your venture. How do you go about getting access to capital? Are there grants available? Then we'll look at the business planning, also how to help put your business plan together. So these are just some of the courses that we go over, some of the modules that we talk about and that we discuss in the Boost to Business Reboot program. And again, if I haven't mentioned it, all of these courses are at no charge to the veterans. So once you complete the Boost to Business, the ongoing training is the Boost to Business Revenue Readiness program. In the Ready Revenue Readiness Program. That's the program where you actually get much more of a boots on the ground approach. Whereas we give you a 30,000-foot view. This one, you actually start identifying and understanding your customer base. Who's your target population? You actually start putting your business plan together so that once you leave this particular course, you're actually ready to leave there and be what we consider lender ready. So now, just to share with you a few resources that are available for you. The Veteran Business Outreach Center, which is the VBOC. We offer the one-on-one counseling and mentorship. Again, we help you with your business planning assistance and help getting you started. And then there are other resources that are available for you as well. There's an organization called SCORE, often referred to as the Corps of Retired Executives. They actually assign you mentors, one-on-one mentors that can work with you, that can help you with your business program, your business model. And actually what they do with SCORE works this way. They try to assign you someone that is in the industry that you're working in. Let's say like you're interested in maybe going into transportation or trucking. They try to find you a SCORE mentor that has worked in that particular industry that you can actually work with one-on-one, that you can discuss with your business ideas and things of that nature. So that you realize and that you recognize that you're not alone with your business idea and your business venture. Then there are small business development centers. These are also located all throughout the U.S. So no matter if you're just tuning in or if you're tuning in at some future time and you may not be in the immediate Illinois area, we have small business development centers all throughout the U.S. that are available to assist you. Now you may be wondering, well, what does this one do that the other one doesn't? We all work in combination. We work in connection with one another. So it's a collaborative approach. There are also women business centers. And one misnomer about women business centers is that they don't just work only with women, but they can assist you as well. Even if you're not a woman-owned business, they can still offer assistance with webinars, organizational development tools. And then there's the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which have their own program, but I just want to make you aware of this because there's some folks that maybe you're in a farmer or you're working in a rural area. There's resources available to help you with that as well. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that in just a moment. And then we'll also be breaking for any questions that you may have. And then there's some more information that Kelly has as well that can assist you. There's Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, which used to be called PTAC, which is now the APEX, which is where Kelly works. That goes over the information she just discussed. There's SBA Export Assistance, Surety Bond Program. Maybe you have an idea or an innovation that you can bring to market, maybe a very technical idea, something of that nature, where there's an office that can help you with that section as well. Then there's SBA Office of Advocacy. They help small businesses that are, maybe you're having issues with your small business and you need somebody to go to bat for you. So the SBA Office of Advocacy comes into play in that area. And if you're starting a business in a rural area, you need to understand that the rural area may be closer than you think. Generally, if there's a population of 50,000 or less, it can be considered a rural area. And so there may be grants that are available. There may be business loans that are available. If you're looking at going into farming, if you're looking at maybe looking at some energy efficient improvements for your business. There's the USDA Office of Partnership and Public Engagement. The USDA announced recently, this was about a couple of months ago, $45 million funding opportunity to support underserved and veteran farmers, ranchers, and foresters. And then this information will be available for you. There's a whole network that some folks are not aware of veteran farmers and ranchers that you can get access to help you if you're looking at going into farming or ranching. And that's the information that I want to share with you. My name is Keith Murphy. Again, I'm the VBOC director for the state of Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota. And if I can be of any assistance, you can reach me at kmurphy@wwbic.com. And again, all of this information will be forwarded to you. I appreciate your time. And if there are any questions or comments, we'll take those in just a few moments. I think Kelly Do you have any information that you want to share with them about the surplus program?
I do, Keith. Thank you. And if you don't mind, I'll take this screen back from you
Okay,
and
I'll
I will
stop sharing.
share information about a program that I think is significant. Okay. Just want to make sure. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
There we go. It's not on full screen yet, though, but we can see
Great.
it.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank
there we
you.
go. Great.
Okay, so what I wanted to share is something that I think is pretty significant, and that is the surplus property program. Back in 2019, President Trump signed the Veteran Small Business Enhancement Act. And this act opened up to veteran and service disabled veteran business owners the GSA surplus property. And what that means is there's a variety of items all across the country that the General Services Administration will acquire from agencies that no longer need them. Their personal property. There are many, many things that can be donated or are no longer used. And this Veteran Small Business Enhancement Act set forward with the SBA and the GSA to find a way to distribute this property and grow capacity and capability of veteran and service disabled veteran business owners. In that, they define the surplus property. Our state-run agency is through Springfield. It's actually through the CMS organization, which is the Illinois State Agency for Surplus Property with the Central Management Services. And they'll take the surplus property. They not only have federal government property, but they have state property as well. And that personal property is items, furniture, electronics, office equipment, vehicles, just to name a few. There is no charge for the federal surplus property. The only cost you have to that is basically to get it to you. So the property is donated, but the logistics cost, based on where it is, because it could be anywhere in the country, will be the responsibility of the person that is receiving the property or the business that's receiving the property. So of course you'd want to touch base with the agency wherever possible and see what kind of condition the property is. Perhaps you're handy enough or the repairs are minor enough if repairs are needed that it would make worth your while to pay the logistics cost to have it shipped from the location where it is. So with doing that, then you can have access to first come, first serve on federal property. Now, the state property is done on an online bidding situation, online auction. And so that has pennies on the dollar cost, but there is a cost associated with the online auction of the state property that was added not long ago to this to the Central Management Services accessibility for surplus property. So the conditions before the property is released, you sign an agreement. First, you do an application to get access to the program, which is at that point in time when you can actually see what's out there. And so you acquire it for program purposes. And it can't be acquired for a person outside the state when you're doing it through the state of Illinois. Must be placed to use within 12 months of receipt for a period of 5 years, 18 months for a passenger vehicle. If it has a title to it, you will have to keep a hold of that. There's restrictions on selling it, trading it, leasing it during that 12 to 18 month period. And so basically, they're going to make sure that it's being acquired for the right purpose, which is to help build capacity with a veteran or service disabled veteran business owner. So the most important thing is there are some steps that you need to take before you can get access to the property. And basically they want the certification that you are veteran or service disabled veteran owned business. And that's no different than what the federal government or the state government requires you to do. They do the due diligence, and then that way, then you get the certification. Anyone that would ask or need to know would have that certification as that third party verification of your status. You get a unique entity ID, UEI, through the System for Award Management. And if you are not familiar with SAM, that is an entity registration that you do for your business. The UEI proves your business name and your physical location. So it says that you have a business and you have a place of business. Then with that unique entity ID, you can register your entity, which actually gets you a cage code. Those two steps are required. If you're interested in doing federal government contracting, that's mandatory. Many times to get grants, you have to have the unique entity ID and a SAM registration. But most certainly for the next step, which is certification through the Small Business Administration, you must have both of those, the cage code and the unique entity ID. And we're going to apply through the Small Business Administration, who not long ago took over the veteran-owned small business, what we refer to as Vet Cert. And so the SBA will take paperwork and an application and verify your status and get you a determination letter within approximately 90 days through the SBA that you're certified. Okay, so by doing that, now you have federal certification. Now, that's a win-win because you also then are eligible to work with the federal government on contracts. And then the next step is your verification letter. Now, with state property also being part of the surplus property program, we also need to get you certified through the state of Illinois. Again, a win-win because contracting any of the state agencies. So that could be vertical construction through the Capital Development Board. It could be horizontal construction through the Illinois Department of Transportation and their state-funded projects. It could be any of the universities, state-run universities, and then also general services, which would be a plethora of programs from the Illinois State Police to the innovation and technology through the state. They all require a state of Illinois certification for a 3% target to award their contracts, all state agencies, to certified businesses in the Veteran Business Program. And you'll see that referred to as VBP. And that VBP program, again, is for contracting, but also a due diligence to verify your status as a veteran-owned business. Once you have then the state certification, you can go into the CMS agency, and awesome folks there in Springfield, also veterans, and truly are very helpful to make everyone that's eligible for the program as a veteran-owned business. No matter what the size of your business is, you could be a landscaper, you could be a farmer. As long as you're a registered business, they can help you get access to that property. And so these are all hot links. And when you get this presentation, you'll be able to click on these links and go right to the portals where you can do the registration. By all means, certification is one of the aspects of the assistance that we can provide through the Illinois APEX Accelerator. So if you are looking for certifications or specifically to get into this program and the certifications are required, then I would gladly help you, would be happy to assist in going through the detailed steps on the requirements to be certified with both the federal agency and the state agencies. And basically the requirement is that the business is 51% owned and operated. So they're going to look at your documentation to make sure that the veteran or service disabled veteran is not only a 51% majority owner at a minimum, that also has the ultimate decision making. the strategic and the tactical control of the business. Everything from your how did you finance to start the business, to who is able to indebt the company, and then also to who is also making the decisions with your corporate documents or your operating agreement. Unconditional control. And this just shows you, just on a random day, the type of articles, the type of personal property that could be available. I have had landscapers, as you see there in the lower right-hand corner, a lawn tractor. I have had machining companies get CNC lathes. There have been generators available. You see a laptop there. You see a copier there. So at any point in time, it's first come, first serve. So whatever equipment might be available, once you get your application in after your certifications, then you can take a look at the website and see what property is available. Okay, and that's all I have. Keith, did you have anything else to add to that? And we'll go to the questions.
Awesome. No, just want to wish everyone for all the veterans, a happy National Veteran Small Business Week. That's this week. So, there any veterans out there?
Yes, I absolutely second that. And you as well as a
Thank
veteran.
you.
So happy
Cool.
Veterans Day for you. All right, Keith, I don't see any questions here. We'll give it just a minute and then see if we have any closing comments. Now, Keith, just to clarify, you
Certainly.
support our businesses here in Illinois, work hard every day to lift up all of our veteran businesses. And would you remind them then how they can get a hold of you?
Certainly. Is they can reach me by going on well, actually, easy way probably just go to K Murphy at www.bic.com. That's K Murphy at www.bic.com. That's Whiskey Bravo India Charlie for those military folks.
For
K
the
Murphy
military folks.
at www.bic.com. That's the easiest way to reach me. And just to keep in mind too, for all of those folks that are out there, you can always go on the SBA.gov website. And it's a plethora of information out there that's available for you if you have any questions about some of the opportunities that are available through the SBA.
Great. And Keith, does your organization have a website or have a, I'm sorry, have a website or a newsletter that could be subscribed to?
Actually, yes, they can go on to our site. They can go on www.bic.com, wibic.com. And when they go on there, they can just go to the veteran page, and that will link them to our social media links. And we also have newsletters that they can sign up for as well on that page.
Perfect. I'm going to do that myself. All right, great. Thank you. And we do have a question. So thanks, Jordan, put your email address in the chat. So if anyone did not catch that, it is in the chat. Okay, so we have a question. What should we be focusing on for our first year of business in regard to taxes as an LLC?
That's a great question, and I'm not allowed to give any legal advice. Of course, I'm not a lawyer. One of the things that I will recommend, though, is that you make sure that you have on your first year, make sure that you gather yourself what we refer to as a bail team, and make sure that you get in touch with a good banker, someone that can or a good lender. Make sure you have a good accountant to help you with your tax issues. Make sure that you have proper insurance, and then you may want to consider having a lawyer in your toolbox. We refer to that as a bail team. So that's what I would recommend as far as any kind of advice as far as for your first year. Make sure that you don't commingle your funds. This is not legal advice. Talk to a lawyer. But from the lawyers that I've worked with, one of the things that they say, you want to make sure keep your personal information separate from your business information. Your personal finances, your business finances separate. Do not commingle those. That can create a big mess. So Thanks. Great
Great.
question.
Yeah, great advice, Keith, and a good question, Justin. And I would suggest too, if you're not currently working with a small business development center, got a small business development center in your area. And if you need help finding one, if you're not in the Champaign-Urbana area, there are SBDCs located again in communities across the state, across the country. We can make sure and put you in touch. We have a small business development center here at the Champaign County EDC, and would be more than happy to connect you for business assistance through the SBDC.
Cool.
Okay. All right. You're welcome. Okay, do we have any other questions? Jordan's on top of it. She's getting all those websites in there
Awesome.
for us.
Awesome.
Yes.
And just to keep in mind also, Justin, you can reach out to us at any time after this meeting. Myself, Kelly, any assistance that we can provide for you, you can feel free to reach out to us.
You also offer webinars through your center?
We do have webinars. Most of it's done through counseling. Most of it's done through counseling. I don't do as many webinars as I did during COVID time frame. So we don't have any static webinars that we have listed though. But most we do counseling.
Well, I know we did a Boots reboot to business in Peoria last year. Do you see coming down the pike any other Boots reboots to business coming in the Central Illinois area?
Well, thanks. Great question. As a matter of fact, we just last week we did reboots in Mount Vernon, Carbondale, and Cairo. And so we're looking at, as we move into the next year, we're looking at conducting some more Boost to Business programs in the southern and central Illinois area.
Excellent. What's the best way to find out when those are coming? I mean, obviously, I will, you'll let me know and I will disseminate that information. But if someone wants to make sure they don't miss that, what's the best way?
Best way would go to our website, because on our webpage, on our www.bic.com webpage, if they go to the veterans section, we list the events that we have, the upcoming events that we have.
Very good. Yeah, you have a great calendar on there and you list all the locations that you're going to be doing that. So,
and again, for those individuals that are on the call or maybe listening in the future, they can always reach out to me again directly.
thank you. I don't see any additional questions. We'll do one last call. And then Keith, again, I can't thank you enough for your sharing your information today and your willingness to do this for us.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till we get you back to Central Illinois to do a together presentation. Webinars are convenient, but being together and being in person is a real bonus.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Great. All right. Well, then we're going to sign this off for today. Thank you again, all of you veterans, for your sacrifice and your service and for joining us today for this webinar presentation. Have a great afternoon. And Keith, thank you again so much.
All right. Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate you.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks, Jordan.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Hope to see you soon.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jordan.